Hello guys, this is Justin McCullen and welcome back to JDM Professionals. Now if you watched my last video on this channel, you already know that I'm currently working for AM Trades. I've already talked about AM Trades and my experience there, so if you haven't seen it, feel free to check this out first, then come back here. But now it seems that video did super well. It's like over 70 views in 1 month, and it's this close, and it's possibly going to be the first video with 100 views on this channel. And how good is that? Well, the second most popular video on this channel is my first video on comfortable conversation with senses, and that video has 23 views. It's like, this is just insane. I mean, like, of course I didn't get comments or likes on that video, but it seems like there was a lot of views, so it seems like a lot of you guys enjoyed and wanted more. Well, surprise, surprise. I'm really excited to tell you more. It's like when I made that video, I went for like April. I did the entirety of April, and I did like half of May. I didn't fully complete May. And this is what this video is about. It's talking about my AM Trades experience in the rest of May. So, with that being said, let's talk about it. So when I posted my first AM Trades video, it was posted on May 19th, 2021. I mean, it was recorded on May 18th, but I wasn't able to upload it till May 19th, 2021. And I did it in the morning before I was working that day. And on that day, I was working at 82nd Street and 37th Avenue. And now what's interesting about that is that at the beginning I was originally scheduled to go to the Bronx, but I was like, nope, I don't want that. I'm gonna post an exchange. And I did get the exchange, and originally it was gonna be on Baxter Avenue on 82nd Street. It's like the exchange was approved and all that, but then the night before, so it found out that they're doing construction on that site, so we moved it. And when they moved it, I was like, that's even better. How better? It's like literally 2 blocks from where I live. It's like all I gotta do is go out from the other side of my house, walk a block, and that's it. So I was there and everything, and it was very good and all that. I mean, like, and the location was so good that I had just enough time to have lunch at home. Usually when I have lunch, I either go to food places or find a place to sit and eat my lunch. But for that time around, I was able to have enough time to go back home, make my lunch, eat my lunch, and that's it. So that was pretty good right there. I was at the table helping out and all that stuff, and my mom actually showed up to the site to say hi, because she had to go to work and all that. And of course she took the photo of me at that table, which of course will be the thumbnail to this video, and all that. And it was really cool, and a lot of people enjoyed it. People liked that moment that mom was there and all that. So shout out for her to making a great picture and making a good thumbnail for this video. So my memory of my progress was a little bit vague, but I got like less than 5 appointments, I believe, and I brought them to the bus and all that. It's like, it's not too productive, but it was really good, and I enjoy that site. So then the next day on May 20th, I was working back at Myrtle Avenue and Broadway. So we're basically sending up supplies and helping out. It's like, normally things would do good and all that. Everyone seemed to get along and all that. Then something bad happened, like an hour into work. It's like I was helping people out with masks and all that stuff, and then there were several of my co-workers were talking, and then later it was a shouting match between my co-workers. Like, They were yelling a lot. They were fired up, and they were angry at each other, and all that. Like it it was not a good sight to see. What happened is that one coworker was telling people what to do and all that, and the other thought that that person well, threatened them, which obviously she didn't, and all that, and then she was like offended at there, and then it was a loud shouting match and all. It was like my supervisor at that side was there trying to break it up and calm it down because of course we were in public, so it was not a good look and all this. Like the me and everyone else that was helping out just watch, and there was unhappy faces right there. It was getting ugly, but thankfully, thankfully, everything's quiet down and nothing worse happened after that. It's like we were able to do the job and we were in positive moods again and all that. So of course I was at that table for the whole day. It's like shortly after people first started canvassing, I actually talked to my supervisor and I apologized for what happened. It's like she didn't deserve to go through that. None of us did, and that's the worst part about it. It's like this was just a misunderstanding. It was like nobody's fault there. It's like someone said one way, the person received it as another, and I mean, it would have been better if they handled this calmly, professionally, but some people are different. Like some people, like me, are very chill back people that would always keep the calm and composure, and would never lose my cool. And there are others that just get angry easily, no matter how big or small the situation is. So I literally felt bad for my supervisor that she had to go through that. Of course she was like, it's not your fault. I mean, of course it wasn't my fault. It was no one's fault, but I still felt bad for what she had to go through. I apologized to her and agreeing for what she said. I mean, like she was a really good supervisor, and and I had a good time talking to her and all that. So. I believe I made like 3 or 4 vaccine appointments at the table, or I did none. I don't. I again, it was like almost a month ago. So again, my memory of my progress was hazy. So besides that controversial moment there, everything was good. And remember when I started this saying that I was working at 82nd Street and 37th Avenue that day? Well, it turns out that after I was working in Myrtle Avenue and Broadway, they were still there. So when I got off the train walking home, I thought to stop by to say hi and see what everyone is doing. Of course, they were doing so well and all that. And then I had off on Friday, May the 21st. And then I knew they were working at 82nd Street again, so of course I stopped by there to say hi again. And when I was there, I saw that they literally got Chick-fil-A. And it's not just Chick-fil-A, but they got it for free. It's like someone bought them Chick-fil-A and all that. I was very sad and bitter at that, and I was like, why couldn't that happen when I was working on that site on Wednesday? It's like they were so lucky there. So it was later I found out that they had an AM Trace mask and all that stuff. So I didn't find about it till later, and I realized they still had it. So when I was about to go to scout camp for the weekend, I quickly stopped by that site again in my scout uniform, and I got that mask. So speaking of scouts, I made a video talking about my scouting weekends on my main channel, so if you haven't done so, feel free to check it out. It was fun and I enjoyed it. And speaking of that mask, the mask looked cool. It was like the Statue of Liberty with a mask, and it was sponsored by New York City Health and Hospitals. It looked cool, but the fit wasn't good. I tried to put it on Sunday at work, and then it was very uncomfortable, and I had a difficult time breathing. And then after an hour, I was like, nope, I can't do this. This isn't worth it. So of course, since I was up at camp for the weekend, I managed to get Saturday off. So then, on May 23rd on Sunday, I was working at Flushing Meadow Park. It was really cool and I was really excited. The walk was super long after I got to my stop, but it was manageable. The only problem is I had trouble figuring out the exact spot, cause if you guys ever been to Flushing Meadow Park, you would know that the park is huge. It's so big. Which means unless you know exactly where you're going, you're easy gonna get lost. Like I have. It's like I was walking around and I was lost trying to find everyone. Eventually I did, and I was a little late, but all that. So of course I was helping out with setting up the supplies and all of that. And then we were forced to move to a different site in that circle junction area, like right by that giant globe over there. It's like, it seemed like my supervisor there knows nothing about Flushing Meadow Park, for the good side. But despite the moves made there, it was a good day over there. It's like we saw a lot of events and all that, which really helped us, cause it was like the attention grabber, and then people are gonna walk by us, and it's like, what's this? It was a fun day at Flushing Meadow Corona Park. It would have been nicer if it didn't rain, but it is what it is. And it was harder because normally I would bring my lunch, but I wasn't able to that day, so I had to go outside of the park and struggle to find somewhere to eat, and then gotta find a place to eat. So it took me like an hour plus for my lunch break, which was longer than I should be, but luckily I didn't get in trouble for it, so that's good. So I believe I made like 2 or 3. I forgot, but I believe I made some appointments there. But that was a good day there. So then the next day on May 24th, I was working at Crown Heights, 271 Utica Avenue. I was very familiar with that place because it was closer to Eastern Parkway and all that. So I was there and I was helping out and all that. I was giving out masks, hand sanitizer, face shields. It's now I'm starting to get more familiar with my progress for a little bit. I believe at that day, me and my team made like 4 walk-ins, and there's a funny story at the beginning of the day. It's like, I mentioned that there was a coworker that I met back at Stuyvesant Heights, who was a really cool person and all that. Well, when we were setting up the team, it's like I wanted to partner up with her. And then another guy wanted to partner up with her too, and all of that. But basically like that, you would think that it would be up to her to choose who she preferred to partner up with, but then the team lead thought it should be a good idea to figure out a number between 1 and 10, and whoever was the closest or the one that's correct get to work with her and all of that. So we said the numbers and all that, and I lost. Yeah, and and that coworker was like, she said she felt bad and all that and all. And then the other coworker was like, "Geez, do you want her number?" and all that. Now, like it was a funny moment. It's strange we had to go through that, but I mean, before you guys say anything, I like to point out that I'm not a simp and all that. It's like I wasn't trying to simp by trying to partner up with her. I wanted to partner up for her because she's such a cool person and we work so well together and all that. So after that funny moment, I immediately apologized to her and let her know that I wasn't simping on her or all of that. She said she understood and all that, and then she was like, maybe we'll switch teams later on." Meaning like she want to work with me later on and all that. Of course, it didn't happen. Of course, it didn't happen. But when I was on the lunch break, I managed to hang out with her during a break and all that. So of course we were at McDonald's and we were talking and chilling like we did a lot of times, and all of that. We were talking and all that. So, and while we were there, she decided to get cookies for all of us. Like, it was super nice and caring for what she did. It's like I respect this person a lot. There, of course, we were chilling at the bench, talking and talking, having a good time and all that. So, and she liked the shake and all that. And my teammate that was there said that he doesn't like sweet things. He likes bitter things. And both me and my other coworkers like, "What? Dude, are you alright?" Yeah, and then I found out that he's in a relationship with multiple girls. I was like, "What?" It's like, how is... Just like, I was like, "Dude, are you alright?" And all that. Just like, it's like we were laughing and all that. And that guy looked tired, and my female coworker was like, "You look a bit tired. You look a bit tired. Are you tired?" And he was like, "Yeah, I am, of you." And she was like, "Wow." And I was like, "Dude, why you gotta do her like that? She's super nice and all that. Like, how could you get tired of her and all that? I'd never get tired of her and all that." Which is true. It's like, she's a really cool person. I'm glad I get to work with her, and the fact that she's willing to give all of us cookies was so nice and all that. It's like she really cares about the people and all that, and I respect that a lot. So as I said, me and my partner made like 4 walk-ins, or at least close enough. But it was a good day there. So then Wednesday, I was at the food pantry by Lincoln Center. Now, if you watched my last video, I talked about me getting my foot injury and my supervisor at Worth Street. Very nice and all that. Well, when I was working at Jackson Heights on 82nd Street, she was there, and I was like, "Welcome to my neighborhood." And little did we know, she was not only I was working with her again, but it was at her neighborhood. It's interesting. It's like she and I are close and all that, up to the point where like she got to work in my neighborhood and I got to work at her neighborhood. It's like, it was really good and all that. What's interesting about that is that most of the people I was working with there were like rookies and very new people. It's like, I felt very old there. It's like, I mean, it makes sense because at that point I was working a full month there, but I was working there as if I was there for years and all that. So of course I was at the table and all of that and getting to know people. While we were there was like this music group with jazz music and all that. It was really nice and I was enjoying it. And it was helping us there. It's like, it was also an attention grab. It's like, because people like music and all that. So they were there, brought people in, and then people look at us and be like, "What's this?" And it was really good and all that. So So I was helping out the table and all of that. And I forgot to mention that back at Utica Avenue, Dante de Blasio, Mayor de Blasio's son, stopped by to visit and canvass with us. Well, later on, at Lincoln Center, he came back again and was helping out. My supervisor was there too and helped out there. So I was helping out, and not a lot of people were doing much. So people were just resting and all there. And for the first time there, that was when I first started to step up and took the charge when my supervisor wasn't there. And I made sure people got the job done and got work done and all of that. I think I made like at least one appointment or two there. Not a lot, but I did a reasonable amount. Now an interesting part there is like when I was working at Utica Avenue, I got an email saying that parts of my I-9 documents were missing, and then I need to put it in. Then I need to submit it by this specific amount of time, and if I didn't, I would get terminated. So I almost got fired. I was like, what? What's going on? I did do the I-9. And when I was at Columbus Circle and all that, it turns out that I told HR that I did submitted the documents and all that, and it turned out that the I-9 documents I submitted weren't acceptable. So of course, someone from HR came there and told me about it, and they asked for my ID, and then I gave them the ID, and then after that, my I-9 was approved there, and everything was fine. So I literally almost got fired for something that I already submitted. But thank God we got that resolved, and it's great. So then on Thursday, May 27th, I was working on 654 Sackett Street. So now the start was like the worst start I ever had, cause I was taking the trains and all that. It's like I took the G, then I took the L, and I was like, oh my God, I'm making such good timing. I'm gonna make it. And then I got off at the stop that I thought I was, and then I pulled up the map to find out where to go and walk in, only to find out that I sent myself to 654 Sackman Street, not 654 Sackett Street. So, yeah, I was late. All that hard work, and after all of that, I accidentally set myself to the wrong location. I was like, oh my God, I'm such an idiot. So as soon as I found that out, I immediately messaged my supervisor, letting them know that I got myself at the wrong location and I'm gonna be very late, but I will be there soon. Luckily, they understood. And luckily, the train I needed to get to my real location was close by. Of course, I had to have a long walk and all that, but I got to the 3 and I took it to the R, and I managed to make my stop no problem. It's like I was like 30 minutes late. It would have been better. It's like it sucks that I was so late there, but I made it, and that's what's important, and I didn't get in trouble and all that. So that's the only time I made a mistake of going to the wrong location, and I'm gonna make sure that I won't make that mistake again, best believe. So of course I was helping out and all that and canvassing, and we were killing it. It's like me and my team made not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not even 5, but we made like 13 appointments, including 4 in 1 spots. Like That was just insane. We were literally this close for getting a vac trick, which is 19 vaccine appointments on one day. But we were dominating. We were killing it. It was like the best performance I've ever made in a team. It's like Alert Avenue was good, but that day at Sackett Street, oh my god, it was so good and all that. And while we were walking, we met some baseball players, not MLB players, but there were baseball players that were just chilling in the hotel, getting ready for the game. And one of my teammates was like a big fan of baseball. Her son, I think it was her son or grandson, was also a big fan of baseball. So we had a long conversation with them, and then she took some pictures of them. It's like, it was an interesting moment, an interesting story, and all that. So what's interesting is that while I was standing waiting for my teammates to come back, so one of my coworkers that was there immediately discovered that I was autistic and all that. It's like I was just standing waiting, and then someone that was at the table was like, do you have disabilities? And I was like, yes. How do you know? And apparently she knew about it because I was pacing left and right when I was standing. I was moving around. She knew about it because she also had disabilities as well, so she was able to tell. Now pace standing is something I didn't know. I thought it was just me and a few other people that did it. I didn't know there were that only people with disabilities can do that. That was really cool about that, especially since she recognized it immediately, which is interesting. So of course after lunch we continued walking and canvassing and all that, and then we had an incident there. I got a message from Google Chat, and they mentioned something about there was an anti-vaxxer that was at the tent. It's like she was constantly yelling at my coworkers at the tent, and constantly harassing them and all that, and saying mean things about the vaccines and all that, and it was really bad. And I think she also went to do the same thing to the vaccine bus. Like, she was crazy and all that. And once I saw that message, I was like, oh my god, that is just horrible. Like, it was. It was like, dealing with anti-vaxxers is one thing, but when they're harassing people who's just doing their job, helping out with the community and all that, it's just not good at all. It's like, of course, they let the supervisor know about that. I think we might have called 911 on that. I don't know what happened to that person after, but it was really bad. I mean, of course, yeah, I mean, like, I wasn't even at the tent when that happened. I wasn't even involved in that incident. Yet I felt really bad and all that. So despite the incident and me being super late, going to the wrong place, the day was good and all that. So of course I took the day off on the 28th, and then on Saturday, May 29th, I was at Coney Island, which is very far, and it was raining hard, but it was interesting. So of course I was making perfect timing, and then I got myself breakfast at Dunkin' Donuts. Then I found a good place for me to eat. Of course I had to stand and all that. And I kid you not, after breakfast I was immediately like, that was good breakfast. Now it's time for me to go walk. And just when I was about to start walking, everyone else came. So they were moving to the side close to the train station, which was very convenient and all that. But then the supplies took like an hour or 30 minutes, and we were in a soaking rain. Luckily, I was able to chill inside Citibank. I was chilling inside Citibank there. So eventually the supplies showed up and we were doing our thing and all of that. I don't think we made appointments, but it wasn't as bad as dealing with one of my teammates. Like one of my teammates there wasn't really good. It's like she was like super bossy, like acting like she knows everything better than and she's better than everyone else, and all that, and constantly doing things in the way that the company did not want us to do. Like she forced me or my teammate to go back get more supplies by ourselves, which we shouldn't, and having both of us go back and have her stay by herself, which again we're not supposed to do. We're supposed to stick together and all that. It's like it was clear and all that, and she was like, forget that, and does things her own way. Either way, she was like both me and my teammate were unhappy, and all that. But of course I struggled to find place for lunch. But then there was a Popeyes. I was like, might as well go at Popeyes, and they had seating there. I bought my own lunch there, but then I decided to save it for the next time I was working. Okay, and all that. It's like I had a good time at Popeyes and staying dry and all of that. So besides the rainy day and dealing with a bossy coworker, it was an interesting day. I mean, like it was raining so hard that we left very early than usual, and I felt happy about that. So I went home and all that. So then on Sunday, May 30th, I was working at Highland Park. So it wasn't that far from me. I got myself breakfast along the way because I was making such good time and all that. And I was making such good time, and it's like I was keeping an eye out, looking for my stop and all that. And then I went past the park, and then once I passed the highway, and I was like, wait a minute, something doesn't look right. And then I look at Google Maps to find out that I accidentally messed my stop. And that was horrible. So I had to go back, and then I also had to tell my supervisor as soon as I got off the bus that I accidentally skipped my stop and I'm going around. I'll be there soon. But luckily, again, she understood and I didn't get in trouble. But that's the thing. The stop I was getting off was like I was looking for the signs and all that. But the sign I was looking for, I didn't see the first time because they showed multiple signs. Because it's supposed to be like it was supposed to be a street and the avenue that I was looking at. But one of them I didn't see. They showed another one, and I was like, how the hell was I supposed to figure that out? So of course so I finished my breakfast and took a long walk all the way up there. So and it was raining hard and all that. Of course I had found out I had to do door knocking, which it's something we weren't supposed to do by law and all that, and I felt uncomfortable. It's like normally I'd be comfortable doing things, but that one time I was uncomfortable. So I then had to talk with my supervisor and all that, let her know that I can't do door walking and I feel uncomfortable and all that. She understood and all that, and she let my teammate know about that and all that. So of course we had a difficult time looking around because there wasn't a lot of people due to the rain. It was pretty much dead. So we were walking around giving away masks, free hand sanitizers, and all that. And despite the deadness, it actually went pretty well. It's like I was soaked up to the point that when I was using the bathroom, I decided to be an idiot. It's like, remember those hand dryer things where you hit the button and they have this fan sound, you have to use the hands? Not only I was drying my hands, but I was drying my entire self. I was drying my sweater, drying my shirt, drying my pants, drying my socks, drying my shoes, and everything. It's like I was an idiot, but it was also creative. Like even like it didn't fully work, but I was a bit drier compared to before and all that. I don't think we made any appointments there, but it was very difficult. So, but I was so soaked that as soon as I went back, everyone literally looked at me and they were like, "Oh my God!" And like, thank God that I was still able to wear those clothes. They weren't completely ruined and all that. So last but not least, I went back to Highland Park on May 31st, and the day was much nicer and all that. But there were problems there. It's like if May 31st sounds familiar, you know that's Memorial Day. And knowing that it's a holiday, you would think I would have off that day, right? No. I had to go to work on Memorial Day, which sucks because there were some fun events going on that I wanted to do, but I couldn't. But if you think that me working on that holiday wasn't the worst part of the day, then by all means, you are wrong. You are so wrong. Like, you can't be more wrong than you already are. It's like, nothing that you think about is right. Everything you thought of was a lie. I mentioned at Coney Island that I had a deal with a difficult co-worker and all that. And before that, I thought that was a bad co-worker. But one of the teammates I worked at Highland Park. Oh. Warning, this upcoming part involves me hating on a coworker, which, even though I had a good reason to do it, I agree it is very unprofessional. So if you want to avoid the unprofessional parts of the video, I highly suggest skipping that part to a certain point. I would then say more later on, and when it is close to that point, I will put the captions when it comes again, plus where to skip to. Thank you for understanding the situation. Oh my God. She is just horrible. It's like I was working with her and all that. It's like my supervisor asked if anyone needs an iPad, and then I was like, I want the iPad and all that. Later she was like, why do you have the iPad? It's because I wanted to. It's like, why can't you use a phone? It's like she sounded so negative and all that, and she was complaining a lot. And one of my coworkers that were there was like defending me, and it was like, ma'am, leave him alone. It's like he's doing what he's supposed to do. And she was like, but why does he have the iPad? And he was like, because she asked if they want an iPad, and he said he wants it. Let him do his thing. So like, big up to that guy for sticking up for me and all that. So already I was like, this person seems so negative and all that. And then the day keeps going by, and it gets worse and worse and worse. It's like of course she let two of our teammates go do their own thing, and then I was working with her and all that, doing our job and all that. Then we had a difficult time trying to look for them, and while we were looking, they'd be like, and she was literally like, she's like, I don't care. They're not my responsibility. They're doing their own thing. Well, the thing is that they were separated because you told them to do that. You were getting mad at them for doing what you told them to do. If you didn't want them to do it, don't do it. So of course we had a long time looking for them, and then we finally found them and all that, and And of course they did their job, and all of that. So of course we were walking back doing our thing, and wow that. And of course it gets worse and 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 worse. Because she's so negative. It's like she is so hateful and so disrespectful. It's like she's literally just selfish and all of that. It's like she's constantly bashing and saying hateful things about everyone, including my own supervisor. Just like, what the hell? Like, what the heck are you doing? Just. So I mean, like, she was acting like my supervisor did nothing and that she was lazy, and she was chilling. Of course, my supervisor was chilling at the park, chilling with her friends and all that. And my team was acting like she was lazy. It's like, I know my supervisor there very well, and she's not lazy. And even if she was lazy, even if she wasn't doing her job, she had no business judging my supervisor like that. It's like she was so mean and disrespectful, and so much hateful and all that. And then we were helping out and helping out and helping out and all of that. So then I was supposed to stick with my teammates during lunch. So I thought we were gonna stick by the tent and all that. And then I was sitting down and eat, and then they left. And I had to follow them. And then she was like, "What are you doing? Why are you following us?" And I said, "The supervisor told me to." And she was like, "You didn't need to. It's lunch break." Well, the supervisor told me to stick with you guys. So, and of course she was constantly being disrespectful and mean to saying mean things about my supervisor. I was getting, and at my mind I was getting angry. And all that, and I was like, why did you let me work with her, and all that. So of course, like, so then after that, we were getting more supplies, because the supervisor hasn't been back, and all that. And then I saw, and I was like, oh, our supervisor's back. And of course, the hateful person she is, my teammate was like, who cares, I don't care. So like, I was getting super angry in my mind, and I was getting fed up with her disrespect and all of that. So, and of course she sees my supervisor, and she's saying mean things about that. It's like she wanted to be disrespectful and say hateful things about her and all of that. And in my mind I was like, don't you dare say mean things about my supervisor. So then of course one of my teammates left earlier because he was a part-time. So then I saw my supervisor, and then she mentioned someone there that was at the tent had problems with her hand and all that, and she needed someone at the tent, and she asked me if I could go to the tent, and Amelia was like yes. And it was a good thing that she did, so I spent less time with my horrible teammate, because as I said, I'm a very chilled out person that would rarely lose my mind and get angry. But my teammate was so horrible. It's like super negative and hateful and all that. That I was literally this close for losing my mind and all. I was this close for talking to talk sense into her and tell her how I felt about her and all that. It's like, she's like, if you were there, if you knew this person, you would understand how horrible she is. Like, it's like she doesn't care about anyone but herself. It's like you can literally tell she was only at this job for the money and nothing else. It's like, why work somewhere if you're not gonna enjoy it? Seriously. So thank God I was sent to the tent. So I can deal with her less. But she is without a doubt the worst person I ever had. It's like, she was not cool and all that. It's like, there was no positive or negatives about her. She was all negative. It's like all bad. Like, I'm impressed how is she so bad? Like, how does she even have it? How is she even working with us there? It's like she's the type of person that would get hired and fired at the same time for being disrespectful. It's like, literally, she's hateful, she's selfish, she was disrespectful, and all that. Literally, everything you hate about a person, and she has almost, if not all of these aspects. Like, I dislike this person so much, and all that. I was this close for losing my mind, and I was this close to telling my supervisor about her, and I was this close to reporting her to HR. Why did I do that? Cause she was, of course, respected me, and she was nice to me and all that. It's like, but even then, I dislike her and all that. Thank God I haven't worked with her after that, and I hope to God that I never have to work with this person again. If I ever get to work with this person again, I'm immediately telling my supervisor to put me with someone else. And if they don't like it, I'm just gonna go home. It's like I was unhappy. I had a bad day and all that. It's like I was unhappy and all that. But luckily there was one positive on that day though, and it was an interesting story. So at the beginning of the day, I of course knew where I was going then. I made no mistake there. And while I was walking up to my site, there was this girl that actually worked at the vaccine bus. She came to me and she was talking to me and she was asking where to go and all that, and I helped her get to where she was gonna go and all that. So we were walking and we were talking a lot, and she seems very nice and all that. And then once we were about to get to the site, she asked me for my number because she needed help getting to where she needs to go to get home, and I was like, sure. And then we exchanged numbers and all that. While we were working, we were talking and texting a little bit, and I was like, maybe we can have lunch together and all that. Of course, when I was on my lunch break, she didn't have lunch break, but she took a break because she wanted to walk around the park and all that, which seems nice. So we hung out for a little bit. When I was on my lunch break, I was like, okay, let's go and walk and have fun. But then I was told by my supervisor that I need to be with my teammates during my lunch break, which ruined my plans with her, especially with one of my teammates not making a dang mind of where she wants to eat and all that. So of course I had to wait till after work and all that. I finished work early and all that. I don't think I made an appointment there, but it was a much better day compared to May 30th. And while I was waiting and hear back from this person, the worst possible thing happened. My phone died. And because my phone died, I wasn't able to talk to this person at all. It's like, she's never gonna know where I am. I'm never gonna know where she is, and we're never gonna communicate and all that. So I tried my best to walk around the park trying to look for her, and then after minutes I was like, there's no point, might as well get home. And for that entire walk home, the entire way home, I felt super guilty and horrible that I basically abandoned her and all that. Like, she trusted me to help her out, and I wasn't there to help out. So of course, since my phone died, I tried to ask strangers if I could use their phone to call my mom to let her know that I was coming home and all that. Lucky I was able to, and that was good. So I went home, and dinner was ready. So knowing the situation before with basically abandoning my new friend and all that. So like after washing my hands and after washing my mask, and I literally had to use the bathroom so badly, and my dinner is at the table. Take a guess, what was the first thing I did? You thought I was eating dinner first? You thought I was gonna use the bathroom first? No. As soon as I finished washing my hands and my mask, the first thing first thing I did was I immediately charged my phone, turned it on, and called the girl that I was supposed to help out and let her know what's going on. I told her that my phone died, and I was so sorry that I basically ditched her and all that. Luckily, she was super nice about it, and she understood, and she forgave me and all that. And I basically told her that I want to take her out to make it up to her someday, and then I was willing to pay for dinner and all that. So I mean, of course, nowadays it doesn't happen, and I asked her if it was okay. Of course, she said she'd love to hang out with me and all that. It's like after that we talk a lot. She was super nice, super sweet, and all that. It's like she's a really good friend, and I'm so glad that I got to meet her at work and all that. So that girl, and of course, while I was at the site, they literally gave us Papa John's pizza, and I was able to eat several slices. Like, I already had lunch, but then I ate more pizza. So that girl that I met that worked on the vaccine bus was the one reason why I didn't have a terrible work day. It's like my horrible teammate on the Memorial Day completely ruined my day there. But then the girl I met at the vaccine bus made it all better and prevented it from being the worst day of my life. So, cause all that time at work, I was very unhappy. Seriously, I don't care if I'm gonna say it on camera. I mean, of course, I'm not gonna say the name of this person, but of course, my coworkers who have worked with this person might have a good idea who I'm talking about. It's like, I don't care if that person is watching this video. I don't care if she's gonna call me a 6'9" after that. I mean, like, I know she's gonna do it. It's like, she doesn't really care about me. She only cares about herself and no one else. And just, I literally pray to God that I do not work with this person again. So, but with that said, this was the rest of May. It's like, May was interested and all that. So if you want to know what happened before this, feel free to check my last video on AM Trace and all that. So I said it in the last video, and I will say it again. For those who watching this video, if you see me at work helping out and all that in one of the boroughs, I want you to come up and to me and say, Justin, I've seen your videos on AM Trace. I want to thank you for all you've done for this community. So if you tell me that, I know you'd watch this video and the last video on AM Trace, and it makes me happy and all that. So this has been Justin McGolan. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you, and God bless America.